Hello. Welcome back. This is episode number 2 of How Extreme Is It? Where I find the most extreme, vile, disgusting movies I possibly can and rank them based on how extreme they actually are. And most of the time I go in completely blind, just because I like torturing myself like that. I don't know. And today, what we have is something very special. This is part of a series I have been wanting to watch for a while now. It is the first entry in the extreme horror series that many of you may know as the Japanese Guinea Pig movies. This is The Devil's Experiment. Isn't that fun? Look at that, that's great, yeah. Once I'm done watching all 6 of these movies, I'm gonna add the poster to the poster wall, which very clearly is looking a little bare right now. There's nothing on it. So that'll be like the little reward for getting through all 6. But the first 2 of these movies are the most notorious, the most well-known, because it is literally just a woman being tortured for 40 minutes. So I think it's safe to say I'm not entirely excited to watch the first 2 movies. The other ones are what I'm more interested in. But the reason why I am pretty okay with watching this is there's no essay in it. So that's good. That makes it a lot easier to watch, at least for me. But yeah, I don't know exactly what happens in this movie other than there's a lot of torture and gore. These movies pulled a cannibal holocaust, and the director kind of had to prove that the practical effects were actually practical effects and that the woman didn't actually get chopped up and killed. So I am actually excited to see how realistic the gore is, because that is what they're most well known for. So yeah, I do have an entire box set on this, which is I didn't even know existed. There's a limited edition box set. There's only 3,000 of them. I'll make a video on that because it's the coolest thing I own. But yeah, these are not going to be very easy or fun to watch. But the good thing is it's only 43 minutes long, so it's barely even a movie length. It's not a movie length, actually. So yeah, pretty well-known movie. It's a big name in extreme horror, and I'm going to do all of the big names in extreme horror, probably. I'm gonna go through them very slowly, but I'll make it. But yeah, I've wanted to watch these for a while now. I will come back and tell you how extreme it actually is. I'll tell you how realistic the gore is, and then we're gonna rank it. Watch, wait, hold on. Ready? Remember last time, if you saw the other video, I made a tiny version. Hold on. There we go. See? Little tiny version. So, same thing that we did last time if you saw the other video, which if you haven't, you definitely should. Hopefully this video won't be 26 minutes long. It'll be more like 16 or 10. I don't know. Hopefully shorter. But there's just a lot less explaining because that was the first episode and I kind of wanted to explain what this whole series was about. But yeah, so I'm going to go watch this movie. I'm going to go tell you how extreme it actually is. And then we're going to take this cutesy little movie and we're going to rank it on my physical board of extremity. So yeah, I'm going to go set it up. I'm going to go watch it. And I will be right back with my thoughts to this movie. Pray for me. But it's only 40 minutes. It's fine. It's only the first 2 movies. And then the other ones are like my dessert. And then we get to hang up a poster once I'm done, if I survive. So, sick. Alright, I'll be back. Don't go anywhere. So, it's been exactly 43 minutes, and I just finished The Devil's Experiment. And I just have to say, that was just bad. That was just, not even in the sense that it was like disturbing, it was just a bad movie. I thought this movie was going to be a lot worse than it actually was, but I'm not really sure what I was expecting because it is old. It's an old movie. The way it's set up is like, there's like different levels of how extreme things get as like experiments with how much the body can take as like pain wise. The experiments were so strange. And like like the first one to start off, they were just, this isn't funny, okay? This isn't funny, but the acting bad, okay? Acting not good. Special effects or practical effects also not it's just not good. Again, old movie, it's probably why. But they would just like slap her in the face, but like the slaps were so unbelievably fake. Like her face wouldn't even move when she got slapped. It's not funny, okay? It's not, but it was just comedically cheesy. Most of it was just, it was so cheesy. Just, I don't know. I have a horrible sick sense of humor. I can't not laugh at everything. So I apologize. But they were just like taking turns, just like fake slapping. And this guy was just in the background, like drinking a soda. It's just like, what is happening? And then at the end of that one, the dude's like, oh, gee, my hand hurts. It's like, what? They spent like 30 minutes straight, and she's like, and she's got like a big welt on her face, and like the dude has the audacity to be like, oh man, my hand is sore. So I may have laughed a few times throughout this movie. I know I probably shouldn't have, but listen, I can laugh at basically anything. We go into like stage 2, where they literally are just like pushing her down and then telling her to stand up, and then once she stands up, they're like, I didn't tell you to stand up, and then push her back down. They did that for like 10 minutes in the movie. They're like, stand up, and then she would stand up, and then they're like, I didn't tell you to stand up, and then push her down. That's what they did for like 10 minutes in the movie. And it also funny because it was just like fake punches, fake kicks, fake, like it was just, they didn't even try to put any power behind any of like the fake punches and stuff. They just like looked like wet noodle punches. It was just, it's funny how cheesy this movie is, because I was expecting it to be really, really horrible, but it's not that bad. It's really not. There are a few parts in the movie that are like, ooh, but I mean, besides that, it's really just like a little bit boring, but also kind of funny. A little bit. I feel like a normal person wouldn't think it's funny, but you know, I'm not even close to being, is this normal? The third stage was literally any kid's dream. They spun her in a chair for like an hour. They spun her around in an office chair. I did that all the time when I was a kid, and it's just very strange what like these trials are that they picked. It's like, let's tie her to an office chair and spin it around for fun. I don't know, but I think that most of this is basically almost entirely psychological horror, because I got a lot of that where it's like, if you even put yourself in her position, then it's like pretty disturbing. This is more of a disturbing movie. It's not really terribly extreme, I guess, because it's really outdated. But like, you just see her spin in an office chair. I don't know. The next stage is like they strap headphones to her with a rope. They wrap a rope around her head to keep headphones on and like blare this horrible like constant sound, which terrible, okay? Really terrible. For 20 hours straight. That's the part where I'm like, oh wow, like that's not very good. But yeah, so that part, it was like, I would hate for that to happen. Like the other ones, they wouldn't be too bad, you know, but 20 hours? And then there was like burning water. It wasn't fun. It wasn't fun for her arm either. And then after that, they took worms. They took worms, like little, they're like, I don't know if they're maggots or something, but they literally salted her with worms, like these little tiny worms, and they just crawled on her. I thought they were gonna like start like eating her flesh or something, but they didn't. They just kind of sat there, and she was asleep the entire time, so she didn't even know. And that was the next trial. I don't know. They just sprinkled her with worms, and then the next one. I don't know where they come up with this, but they took like animal guts, which is gross, and just started throwing it on her while she was sleeping. And she is a heavy sleeper, and she did not wake up until like the end. But like, there was like these three guys. There's three guys doing this entire movie. They're the people who are doing all these horrible things. But they sound like apes and hyenas. They're like middle schoolers throwing eggs at somebody's house. They're just like throwing guts, not even like on her face or anything, which would be disgusting. It was just like next to her and like on her body until she woke up. And she screamed louder than when her arm was being burned off. Okay, nothing was happening to her. It was just guts being thrown on her, and she screamed so loud for so long. It was, I don't know. I would personally, honestly, being covered in warm guts feels like a wet weighted blanket to me. And I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't mind a warm weighted blanket. I mean, as long as they're not throwing it on my face, which they didn't really do to her at all, I feel like I'd be fine with it. Honestly, that would make me a little bit more comfortable, honestly. But yeah, these trials just, I thought they were supposed to get like worse and worse, but they're so strange. They're weird. It's like, that's not even really the whole experiment was to see how much the human body can take pain, and they're just like sprinkling worms on her and throwing guts at her body. It's like, I don't know. And that's what they used at the back of the picture for like right here on like the back of the DVD. It's just like a picture with her covered in guts, and I thought it was hers, but it's not. And she's just asleep, so most of the time she didn't even know it was happening. But yeah, there was like a shot where they take like a hammer, and like the hand is like obviously a prosthetic hand, but it is so painfully obvious that it's like literally just entirely rubber, because when they like hit it, it just like, it jiggles so much. There's like, it's so cheesy. It's so clearly a prop hand. And they did it in slow motion too. Like they were completely giving away that this was completely rubber. It was really funny. It was funny. That part, it was just, it's comedically cheesy, I have to say. It really is. There are a few things in here that are like, ooh, that's a little gross. And then the final scene, which is on the cover of this, that you can see, that involves a needle and an eye, which horrible, very horrible to watch, not very fun. But there was no sound to that at the end either, which I guess made it a little easier to watch, honestly. But I don't know, it was just weird. And then after that, they just like keep hanging her up too in like a hammock. They like wrap her up in a hammock and like hang her up on a tree, where she just like curls up in a ball in this hammock. It's very strange. It's kind of confusing. Practical effects, some of them are good, some of them are very not good. It's honestly kind of funny how unrealistic things are. But there are certainly some things in here that are very hard to watch, and there are also some things that are just kind of funny, in my opinion. So if you have a sixth sense of humor, you might also be laughing a little bit. But yeah, I didn't know that the needle in the eyeball thing was the finale of the movie. I thought they were going to keep going, which honestly thought they were. I didn't wish they would keep going, so I'm kind of glad that it stopped. But yeah, overall, not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be, and not really at all what I thought. Yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and bring out the board of extremity, and we can rank it. Yeah. Yes. Okay. It's back. So, as we can see, it's filled. We have one movie on there from episode 1. And now we have, the other movie, which I showed before. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so overall, it is much more on the disturbing side than the extreme side. It is certainly extreme, but being that it's only 40 minutes long, most of it is comedically cheesy and kind of funny. There are only a few scenes that are very uncomfortable, and most of it is really just disturbing. I'm not going to put it too high. All right. I'd say higher than All Hallows Eve. It's really not as bad because, like, we've had much worse visuals. I mean, the Eye and the Needle, horrible. All right. Very horrible, very realistic, and very uncomfortable. But we have seen much worse. All right. If you've seen any of the Terrifier movies or any movie that has a ton of very close-up gore, then you've probably seen much, much worse than this movie. So I'm just gonna say I'm gonna put it in it's uncomfy. Which honestly is a really big shock to me. I'm not kidding. I thought that was gonna be like really high, like at least, and that's pretty bad. But having it in low end uncomfy, I mean, we got a lot of room to improve, all right? I was not really, I don't know, I was uncomfortable for most of it, I would say. I was just kind of masking it through comedy and making jokes, which I usually do because it's fun. But it's really not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. And I have seen much worse, and I don't think it's really anywhere near some of those other movies. So I just want to make sure that there's a good amount of room for movies to get much worse. But still, pretty bad. I don't know if I might change it in the future. I don't know. It might go high end, but I don't think it's going to go any higher than just it's uncomfy, because there are a lot more movies that are a lot worse. So if you want to see the movie, I'd say probably not. You can skip it. I mean, if you really want to see it, you can. I'm not gonna stop you, but it's I don't know. It's just strange. It's weird. It's not even really a movie, but yeah. So that's where it's gonna go. We'll move it closer so you can see it. There it is. We got 2 on there. The next one, I'm probably gonna watch the second Japanese Guinea Pig movie, which is Flowers of Flesh and Blood, which is a wonderful title for a movie. I'm probably not going to do all 6 in a row. I'll probably do other extreme horror movies to kind of spread it out. But I want to get the first 2 out of the way because those are probably the worst and most unenjoyable. So overall, didn't enjoy the movie. It was pretty bad. It was pretty cheesy. And it's only popular because it is said that the director got a video, an actual snuff video of these things actually happening, and he decided to recreate it. So if it wasn't for that fact, then this movie should not be anywhere near as popular as it is. That's where I stand right now. I have not seen the other 5 Guinea Pig movies, so I will make a series opinion once I'm done watching those. And we'll get to hang up that poster, like I said before. I'm really excited to hang up these posters. I want the white to go away. This whole wall is going to get covered with posters. But yeah, that is it for Guinea Pig Part 1, Devil's Experiment. This is the first of the 6 movies. I will be watching the other ones. And thank you for watching this entire thing and seeing me rank this as it very slowly starts to fill in with those 2 movies that I put up there. So if you like this video, I have other videos like this and more will be coming out. So if you want to see them, you can go look at them. I am also maybe going to have, actually, you know what? No, I'm not. I was going to have a link to the movie in the description, but if you want these movies, you're going to have to find them on eBay somewhere, which you can pretty easily buy them, you know, loose, just the single movies. If you want to get the box set, I will have a video on the limited edition box set that I have. I don't know when, but I really like that box set, so I'm going to make a video on it. But if you want the normal box set from Unearthed Films, you can maybe find it on eBay for like $500. So, good luck. But I will have maybe a link to my hoodie store, which has nothing to do with this channel, and also my eBay profile where I sell horror movies. Yay! So if you are interested in hoodies and horror movies, I'll have a link to those in the description below. But I hope you enjoyed, and if you like this video, then make sure to keep a lookout because I will be making a lot more of them. So I hope to see you in a future video. So have an amazing day, and please keep needles away from your eyeballs. They're not a good combination at all.